Chapter 3. The Dark Passage and Encounter. Amaa Ogu stepped through the portal and immediately felt the world change. The air itself seemed older, thick and unmoving like a forgotten tomb sealed for ages. The ground beneath his feet was made of black stone that pulsed faintly, as if the land itself possessed a silent heartbeat. He had crossed beyond the borders of time and distance. He had entered the ninth passage. It was a forbidden corridor between worlds, a place few living souls had ever walked and even fewer had escaped. This realm served as a dark transit valley for fallen celestial beings preparing their descent into the mortal world. Amaa Ogu instinctively spread his arms, preparing to rise into the air. Nothing happened. His power of flight, one that had carried him across vast skies and battlefields, had vanished. The realm itself rejected wings. In the ninth passage, all beings were forced to walk. It was an ancient law of the underworld, created long ago to remind fallen angels of their disgrace. Even celestial beings had to feel the weight of the ground beneath their feet. Amaa Ogu narrowed his eyes and began walking forward. The walls of the valley rose high on both sides of him, jagged and suffocating. Darkness pressed inward like a living thing, swallowing every trace of light. Whispers slithered through the air. Some sounded like distant voices begging for mercy. Others sounded like laughter. Demons were near, creatures that hunted not flesh, but souls. From the shadows, shapes slowly began to emerge. Their bodies were tall and gaunt, with skin that looked like cracked obsidian. Their limbs were twisted and elongated, and their eyes were nothing but hollow voids glowing faintly with fading celestial energy. They were Kharveth. Once they had been celestial warriors, guardians of heavenly gates and soldiers of divine order. But when the ancient rebellion among the angelic hosts erupted, many of them followed the fallen angels into exile. The ninth passage had slowly corrupted them. Now they existed as predators, feeding on wandering souls. One of the creatures stepped closer, sniffing the air like a starving beast. It could see Amaa Ogu's soul burning brightly within his body. The stronger the soul, the sweeter the feast. More shapes began gathering along the walls. Amaa Ogu stopped walking. Then he lifted one hand and whispered an ancient command passed down through generations of kings. A flame burst into life above his palm. The torch burned with unnatural brightness. It was not ordinary fire. It was the manifestation of spiritual light, the power of courage and ancestral strength. In the ninth passage, light was the only true weapon. The creatures hissed violently and retreated into the darkness. The Kharveth hated light. The flame revealed what the shadows had hidden: claw marks across the stone, bones scattered along the path, and ancient blades half buried in the ground. This valley had claimed countless souls, but Amaa Ogu did not slow his steps. With each stride forward, the torch burned brighter. The realm fed on fear, but courage weakened it, and Amaa Ogu carried the pride of kings. He spoke quietly to himself as he walked. "Clear the path, vile creatures, for I am the illuminating force cutting through darkness." His voice echoed through the valley. "Fear does not sway me, for I bear the might of my forebears and the righteous will." The shadows shifted uneasily. "Confront me, abominations. Your fear only strengthens my resolve." The valley slowly opened into a narrow cliffside passage. At the far end, a faint light shimmered. It was the gate of re-entry, the exit through which wandering souls could return toward the mortal world. But something moved in front of it. A tall figure stepped forward, blocking the path. Unlike the others, this creature carried a weapon, a long blade forged from dark celestial metal. Its skeletal armor rattled softly as it moved. This was not a wandering predator. It was a Kharveth sentinel, a guardian placed to stop powerful souls from escaping the valley. Its hollow eyes studied Amaa Ogu with unnatural intensity. Then it slowly drew its sword. "You have entered the realm of tigers," the creature growled in a voice that sounded like dry bones scraping together. "How dare you hope to leave unscathed?" Amaa Ogu calmly reached for the pair of short swords hanging at his waist. They had followed him through countless battles. His lips curled slightly. "I am a lion like my forefathers," he replied. "We conquer territories and break boundaries, you knucklehead." The sentinel roared and lunged forward. Steel crashed against steel. The battle erupted with explosive force. The Kharveth warrior moved with terrifying precision, its blades slicing through the air like lightning. Its attacks were relentless, fueled by centuries of combat experience. But Amaa Ogu met every strike. Their weapons clashed again and again, sparks scattering across the black stone floor. Minutes stretched into nearly an hour as the duel raged along the cliffside. The sentinel fought without fatigue. The Kharveth could not tire. Their bodies no longer depended on mortal strength. But Amaa Ogu's endurance was legendary. He fought with the calm focus of a warrior king. Finally, the creature staggered backward. Its hollow eyes burned with confusion. It had faced many souls in the ninth passage. None had fought like this. "What manner of being are you?" it demanded. Amaa Ogu answered with action. He spun forward and delivered a powerful kick that struck the sentinel square in the chest. The creature lost its footing and tumbled backward over the cliff. Its scream echoed as its body disappeared into the endless darkness below. The impact shattered part of the cliff wall, widening the narrow path leading to the gate of re-entry. Amaa Ogu lowered his swords. He looked down into the abyss where the sentinel had fallen. "I am a king," he declared. Then he continued walking toward the light. Meanwhile, at Ikuk's stone temple, far away inside Ikuk's ancient temple, the reddish mist that once filled the chamber slowly faded. As it cleared, the stone wall behind the altar slid open. A hidden chamber revealed itself. The room was filled with strange symbols carved into the floor and walls. Ancient artifacts rested on stone pedestals, each humming faintly with dormant power. At the center of the chamber stood an enormous device unlike anything from the modern world. A massive ring of rotating gears surrounded a glowing crystalline core. This was the Chronosanctum engine. It had been built thousands of years ago by a forgotten civilization known as the Architects of Time, beings who had discovered that time was not a straight path but an ocean of flowing currents. They created machines capable of navigating those currents. Ikuku stepped forward slowly. His robes brushed against the stone floor as he approached the device. To Amaa, he had appeared to be a humble spiritual guide, but in truth, Ikuku was something far older. He was the keeper of gates. With a small gesture of his hand, the chamber fell silent. The machine began to awaken. Gears rotated. Ancient mechanisms clicked into place. A low humming sound filled the chamber as streams of blue energy flowed through the crystal core. Ikuku began speaking in a forgotten language. Each word caused the machine to respond. The Chronosanctum was not entirely mechanical. A fragment of ancient consciousness lived inside its core, evaluating the intentions of those who used it. Satisfied with Ikuku's purpose, the machine activated. A swirling vortex of light appeared above the device. Images flickered within it, glimpses of past civilizations, future worlds, and forgotten wars. Ikuku reached into his robe and removed several strands of hair. They belonged to Amaa Ogu. He had secretly taken them during their embrace earlier. Every soul possessed a unique temporal signature. Without a biological anchor, the machine could not locate a person in the endless river of time. Ikuku raised his hand and released the strands into the vortex. They vanished instantly. Suddenly, Ikuku's eyes began to glow. Brilliant blue light filled them. He had entered the state known as temporal sight. In this state, he could see the flow of time itself. Countless glowing paths appeared before him, each representing the journey of a soul moving through history. The machine emitted a sharp electronic tone. Beep, beep, beep. A signal had been found. Ikuku slowly sat down before the device, focusing his mind as the Chronosanctum stabilized. Soon he would open a communication window. Somewhere in the vast currents of time and space, Amaa Ogu waited, and Ikuku was about to find him.